Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Financially Forever After, a Love and Money podcast. We are your hosts, Lindsay and
Brett, the moneymaker, Schunkweiler.
Here to offer you some relationship tips, advice, or just things that are going on in the world as far as relationship goes. But also, what are you going to offer today?
Well, after you're done with that, we're going to talk about some financial tips, and we are going to talk about portfolio investments today.
Ooh,
Exciting.
From a financial advisor's mouth to your ears. It is here for you to hear.
Pretty much.
Breaking it down to layman's terms, too. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Breaking it down.
Because obviously you know a lot about finances.
I would sure like to think so.
And I don't. So that's why we're doing
That's
this.
all right. I can ask you questions on the layman's version, and you're like, I don't know, and that's why I explained it to you.
Exactly. So we're a couple weeks into January now.
Mm-hmm.
How are those resolutions going for you?
I mean, so far so good.
I don't think you ever told me what your resolutions were. Do you have any big ones this year that I
mean, the biggest one for me
is... You're going to run a marathon?
No, to work less.
Work less. Oh,
yep.
I like
work less, more family time, more
workaholic
trips. So yeah, when you work, 70 hours for 3 straight months, you don't want to do that anymore.
That's a good resolution. How's that going for you?
So far, so good. So we'll see. We're early on. So we did take a trip to start off the year. So that helps.
Yeah, that does. What did we say with how long it takes people to fall off the wagon of their resolution? Just a few weeks.
Yeah, anywhere from 5 days to 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. I also teach fitness classes. So I always joke with my class in December. I'm like, get your good spot early because come January, this room's going to be full.
Yep.
Be everybody in this room, which is great. I wish people would stick it out. But by February, I would say the numbers drastically drop.
Mm-hmm.
So people are just getting through the holidays, getting into winter time, officially depressing month, January.
Well, it depends on the weather. I know like December, there's some days in the 50s.
Good weather in the Midwest.
60s. And like, all right, how was it? I remember on the 26th, because it was the day after Christmas, and it was like 55, 60 degrees outside, and I was wearing a T-shirt, playing my son in basketball outside. I'm like, this is beautiful. Fantastic.
Which was funny because we had all the snow. We got like dumped on the beginning of December, and then, it was really nice come Christmas. So do you have any funny stories that you want to share today?
I mean, I think we both have one.
We do?
Yeah, from the Christmas holiday season that we playing games at the house.
Okay, so I don't know if other people are game people, but we're big game people. But normally we like to do board games, whatnot. But this year we wanted to do minute to win it games, and I found this TikTok person, and they were doing all these different games. So I wanted to do some minute to win it games because they are fun. So one of the games was a candle that you had to race against the person next to you, and you had a paper plate in your mouth, and you had to like basically just nod really quickly to blow out the candle. Well, we weren't holding these candles at the time. We had them on a table, and they were on a stand, and your dad's girlfriend accidentally hit her plate into it, and it flung the candle back at her. And we thought she caught on fire. She did not catch on fire. She did get wax all over her.
She had wax on her shirt, and it looked like, oh my gosh, are you on fire? Are you burning?
So you try to do some different kind of games, and we almost had a burn emergency room.
I mean, just a little candle, but oh my goodness sakes, you get a little worried when you have a flying.
And she was quick to put it out too. Candle. That's why we thought her hair caught on fire, because it flung at her, and she was just like right away. She was on top of it, so that was good. Mm-hmm. What story do you have to share? I can't remember.
No, I mean that was the one I was thinking. Not too often do you have people.
What was your favorite minute to win it game that we played?
I like the Tippy Cup Tic-Tac-Toe.
Oh, where it was like kind of
like a red Solo cup. You
Not
just
beer pong.
Flip it up.
Flippy cup.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Tippy cup, flippy cup, whatever.
And then you place them on the Tic-Tac.
Yeah, so it's 2 people on the team. Yeah. One person goes, and then you if you get it first, you get to go in the middle or wherever you want to go, and then the next team goes, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm competitive like that.
You are. My sister sent a video. You were with my mom on the team, and my sister zoomed in on your face, and your face was just like, oh.
I
She
love
could
your
not
mom a
get
lot.
that
That's
cup to
just
flip.
not her game.
That
It's
was
not her game. Well,
and
like,
you are competitive. So
well,
your
usually
face
you
was
like
just
flip it, and you just
"Oh."
like want to do like one flip there, shoe, just like flip it really
Oh, yeah.
high and hope to
She
bounce
gave it
there.
a
I was
little
like,
too much.
I don't think that's the strategy.
No, not usually.
But
so
that's okay. It was a first time
it's all good
playing, and I
fun.
have a little experience playing that.
Yeah,
so
It was
all good.
fun though. Like the games make the holidays a little more enjoyable rather than just sitting and eating and doing nothing, because that gets boring real
Yep,
fast.
It does.
And we should start off those resolutions early. So if it was to get in shape or maybe lose weight, if you're active during the holidays, you get a
Active,
jump
yep.
start on that resolution. So, all right, well, let's get into our relationship stuff today.
All right, what do we got?
Okay, so I thought this was good because obviously we just got back from a trip, and this falls on my plate a lot because I would say, for the most part, I am the manager in our relationship when it comes to our family too. We have
Uh-huh.
kids. So what the manager role really means, when someone says, I feel like the manager, they usually mean they track everything as far as appointments, kids' schedules, social plans. And I would say you would probably agree with that, correct? The majority of that falls on my
The
plate.
majority of that, some of the
I mean, if I
kids'
tell
sporting
you-
events, I will put it on the calendar.
Yeah. But
other
as far
than
as
that-
appointments, or do you even know that you're supposed to book a doctor's appointment once a year for them, or vision or dental? Do you know, or twice a year for dental?
I mean, I know that I don't because you do.
Exactly. Also, when they feel like the manager, they're anticipating needs before they're voiced, that obviously falls on, I feel like the mom's played a lot, because obviously the dad, if you're working or you just rely on the mom to do it, maybe that inner voice of anticipating needs might not be heard right
Or it could be
away.
the dad at home and the mom
It could
working.
be the dad at home.
You
You're
don't
very
know
right. It could definitely be that case as well. Also, when you feel like the manager, you're delegating tasks instead of sharing ownership. And they also feel responsible for outcomes, not just effort. So this feeling like a manager, it isn't really about control. It's about mental load and emotional responsibility. So let's talk about the mental load problem. Mental load isn't just doing the tasks. It's also basically remembering things exist. So for instance, the doctor's appointments or teachers' conferences or fill in the blank, those mental things are always going through your head because you're responsible. In my case, I'm responsible for all the kids plus myself. So that's 4 people. I let you, for the most part, do your own doctor's appointment. When it comes to trips, however, I create the whole list of our packing list, and you get the things. But yeah, all of the coming up with everything falls mostly on my plate.
Exactly. I would have to Google a list to say,
You would have to.
what list do I need?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be real. We've been on enough trips. I could probably get the majority of it. I'd forget something.
Correct. But
I'd still get the
what
majority
was
of
it that your clients had asked you one time? Like, where are you going?
Oh, they
And
ask all the time. I don't
your
even know.
answer was, I have no idea. I just show up. My wife
That's
plans it
true,
out.
100% true. Yeah.
So planning obviously falls on that mental load.
But you love that too. You love the planning of a trip.
I do love to plan, make activities, excursions, things that we're going to end up doing. But it's just the mental load of I'm then responsible for 5 people rather than just myself. So it gets to be a little taxing. Noticing when it's incomplete. So if something doesn't get done, or following up if it doesn't get done, the manager obviously is the one that falls to. So a lot of times this can cause exhaustion, resentment, and loneliness. So I'm not just saying this for myself. This is just obviously different strokes for different folks. Some people, everything falls on the manager's plate, and the spouse or partner doesn't do a lot of this. So I would say for the most part, a lot of it, yes, does fall on my plate, but you pull your weight. It's not like I do all of the kids stuff and then you do nothing. It's not like you're sitting on your thumb at home. So
So I'd like to think not. That would be
you do more
uncomfortable.
of the work stuff, and yes, but we're today just talking about the mental load and just the manager role as far as in a family.
Okay.
Okay. And I think a lot of times for you specifically, and you've even said this, you're the boss of your own company. So when you come home, you're like, I don't want to have to manage people. I don't want to have to deal with problems because I do it that all day at work, all day
long. And I know sometimes throughout the week, you'll do that. You're the manager of our family and get to the weekend. And I'm like, I don't have to pick where to go, whatnot. I just like you plan the weekend. But sometimes you like if I plan the weekend because you're managing throughout the week as well.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm spent. I know that working the amount of hours I've been working.
I would say I feel like January is too a time for, especially again, I'm filling in for like the moms in this case, but this can be dads in most cases too. But moms for the most part are what makes Christmas magic. You are the ones scheduling all the fun events, visiting Santa. Well, you a lot of times are Santa. In that case, you are providing the magic. So, so it can be mentally taxing, setting up all the food, organizing everything with the family. There's just a lot going on. So how this dynamic typically forms, often it's unintentionally. So in the beginning, when you're first a couple, maybe it's your first child together, or it's just the two of you, it falls onto a lot of the times the person that has more time, the person that might have more of a flexible schedule. In my case, I stayed home with the kids, so obviously that made sense. Who's more organized? Who cares more about certain things. So obviously you don't care about the chips as much as I do. So that falls on my plate. So things like that, where it's turning into more of an ownership, and then eventually that turns into an expectation. So here's where competence can become a trap. So the person that's the manager, again, they notice details others don't. So for instance, I like to use this example because this happens a lot with stuff on the countertops. And I don't know if there's other wives or moms out there. For me, my anxiety goes through the roof if my countertops in my kitchen have things on it. And I'm OCD about that. I feel like if there's anything out and things aren't put away, that'll just send me into a tailspin. So,
Hashtag true.
And that's just a detail that you might not necessarily notice. It doesn't bother you as much. So that's not something that you're focusing on.
I know that it bothers you.
Yes.
Trust
you
me.
have learned
I
this.
have been made well aware of that.
Yep. And so again, managers, sometimes it becomes a controlling thing too, where it's like, if I don't do it, it won't be done right. That sort of thing. So you're putting all these extra things on yourself when maybe your partner or your kids are perfectly capable. You're just been doing it for so long that
I mean, I had to be the one to tell you, because you're just like, I got to pack it. And so take me so many days. I was like, they're all big enough. Just give them a list.
Yep.
And they can bring it to you. And then you can say, oh, no, that's not good enough. Bring something out.
Exactly.
You did on the recent trip. And guess what? It worked out
what's funny
easily.
though? The girls are our younger ones. Our oldest is a 16-year-old boy. And he's the one I actually had to go through and like redo a bunch of hippie kids. It was not going to work for the trip that we had planned. So let's talk about some ways that we can kind of reevaluate the manager role and allowing our partners to maybe take on some other tasks that you might not be willing to give before, but now if you're getting to that mental overload, this might be it's a new year. Why not start something new? Why not talk with your partner about it and see if there's ways that you can maybe come up with a little bit of a collab, so to speak.
A collab?
A collaboration.
I was like, is this a new word that we're trying to
Yes.
Explain what a collab is.
It's a short word. So this is good advice, I thought, because you're naming the invisible work. So you have each partner list what they do, what they think about, and what they worry will fall apart if they stop doing it. So that's, I think, would be really eye-opening. You and I could even try this task, because I think there's a lot we both worry about or think about that the other person might not even realize.
All right, let's try it. What do you got?
I mean, I'd have to sit down.
Yeah, that's right.
Really
We're sitting down. Just give us a couple. Give us like 2 or 3 here.
I mean, examples. Like, again,
we can teach the listeners here, like, hey, here's how you would start it off and do it.
Okay. So kids' doctor's appointments.
Yep.
If I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done.
I mean, if I knew that you weren't going to do it, then I would set it up. I'm extremely structured in regards to if it goes on my calendar, it gets done.
Yeah.
So I'd have to know, like, hey, I'm not scheduling anymore. Okay, guess what? Either I'm going to call and schedule them. Actually, I'd probably just call as I'm driving the appointment up in Omaha or some of that nature and get them scheduled.
Okay. Booking trips and setting it all up. We got him.
I will qualify for the trip and you can book the trip. I don't want to do that.
Talking about our personal family trips.
I wouldn't mind some of that because then I would get to pick where we go, what we do, but all the fun stuff that we do. So like, here's the deal: is getting a trip. Like, hey, let's go on a cruise. Great. They have lots of the activities planned while you're there. But then it's like, all right, well, you have to pick the excursions and figure out which excursions on which particular days. And is there a height requirement? Is there a weight requirement? You know, we have 5 different people in our family. Would all of them enjoy it or not? That stuff I'm not really thrilled about doing. But I might delegate that to the kids to talk about and then say, all right, give me your top options. And then I would put it down that way and then figure it out from there. That's probably how I would do it.
But that gets tricky because we have a boy and 2 girls. So.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm like, hey, guess what? Well, there's 3 places we're stopping at. Everybody gets to pick one thing. What do you want? And then we go
so for instance, we just got back from a cruise and we went to Mexico twice. One of the ports, I was like, let's pick an excursion the girls will enjoy. So we did salsa making, guacamole making, and then they taught us salsa dancing. So that was more for the girls. I knew our son wouldn't really care that much. So the second time we came back to Mexico, on the way back, different port, we did the Mexican wrestling. The I always call it the Nacho Libre. So I knew you and him would find more joy in that than maybe the girls.
But you got margaritas out of it.
So margaritas, you get to cheer on your wrestler. Like, it's all good fun, you know?
Yeah.
And you and I actually were entertained by wrestling. We think it's pretty fun to watch. So, yeah, it's just that give and take. So it brings it to the next point, which you're kind of already doing. It's transferring ownership, not tasks. So instead of saying, can you help with the kids' schedule? You say, you fully own school communications this year. So if I were to say, okay, the doctor's appointments, all that stuff's getting on my, you are in charge of doctor's appointments this year. And so you're delegating the ownership of it, not just the task in general, if that makes sense.
That'd be great.
Allow different methods. So this is where it might get tricky for some people. I'm a little bit of a control freak, type A. I'm sure others are. But different styles, different timelines, different good enough standards. So you have to kind of let go of some of that and realize that my partner and my husband, or fill in the blank, whoever that is to you, they're capable. It might not be exactly how you would do it or the way you would do it, but they're capable of getting it done if you just allow them to have that. And would you agree? I mean, I don't know if you would agree, though, because I used to do the bills and you did not like the way
well,
I
mean, you didn't get me for my kids to go. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
I do all the finances for obviously the business, the employees, the payroll, all the stuff. And you, for the at home, you were late on one bill early on in our.
I mean, I think we were just married, and I must not have gotten on time because I had never.
That's because your mom worked at the bank, and you always had mommy watching and overseeing.
Whoa! No, that was for balancing my checkbook.
That's part of the bills.
That was perfect. Why wouldn't you use your resources? Using mommy, I use my husband now. He your financial advisor.
Guess
so it's
what?
kind
And
of
we
the
have not
same
had a
thing.
late bill in like 20 years.
That's not true.
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe 1 or 2 here or there, but over the course of time, they've been very good throughout. So, it's sometimes like delegating, like, hey, you're at home. Can you call this insurance company up? But it's a week or 2 later, and the insurance company.
You didn't give me a timeline.
Yeah.
I got it done.
We got it done.
Actually, no, I didn't do the insurance because we're at the end of the year. We've already hit our deductible, and a doctor told me that don't submit that bill because those are all going to change. So
there's a financial tip for you.
I didn't know that. A medical
If
tip
you've
too.
hit, your deductible and the company's still sending you bills for the full amount, you might want to call the insurance company
Mhm.
just to make sure that you aren't overpaying.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he said too. He's like, you can pay it now and then they're going to end up having to reimburse you. So just wait on it. And I was like, okay. And that's coming from a doctor who has his own practice. So,
But me not wanting to be late on stuff
right.
kind of makes me
Yes.
OCD. I'm like, let's call them up and get it done.
But I got it done.
So we're talking about timelines.
Yes.
And we're talking about timelines that each spouse feels comfortable with.
Yes.
I don't like that. And you might not like, oh, well, I'm going to get it done in regards to something that you have at home.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like,
it goes the
it was like for
same.
the trip, you're like, oh, let's, I need you to get this ready and this ready. I'm like, okay, that's your timeline. I have 4 other things on my list
Exactly.
ahead of time.
And I had to
I
bite my
will
tongue.
get to your list here within the next 2 hours and I will get
And
it
I
done.
didn't get on your case.
And I got it done.
And I was calm. It's a new year, new me.
Yeah.
I was calm.
Yeah.
I'm a work in progress. So
We're
that
all
means
work in
you have to
progress.
be a work in progress.
Everybody's
with
got a work
my
in progress on
timeline.
something.
All right. So to close this out, so basically just rebuilding appreciation for that person. And again, delegating, if you're feeling like your mental load is just over the top, it's too much, have a sit down with your person, your spouse, you, again, fill in the blank, whoever that person is to you, and see if maybe there is some things that they could take off your plate and maybe they can get it done a different way and it will help free up some of that mental load that you're carrying. So what do you have today on for finance?
Okay, so I have a whole bunch of portfolio information
Ooh.
and how your portfolio should look, or at least in my opinion, how it should look and how it should be structured. So many different investments to dive into. Kind of got, as I was prepping for this today, got going down a rabbit hole, and I just got so interested in a topic I knew a little bit about, but then I dove deeper in it, found out more and more and more, and gosh dang, it's pretty interesting here. So, as you think of let's just talk overall portfolio diversification. So I believe that you should never have just I'm going to do large cap stocks only, or tech stocks only, or medium cap, or small cap, or mega cap, or micro, or whatever it is, or that you should not just be in one particular category, that you should diversify in various different categories as well. So there is a gentleman by the name of, if you have never heard him before, Tony Robbins. So he wrote this book. He's called The Holy Grail of Investing. Now, granted, take the book for what it's worth. I like it. You might like it. You might not like it. But there's a gentleman in there by the name of Ray Dalio that, he managed one of the largest hedge funds in the world. A lot of people consider him like the Tom Brady of the investment world. And, in 2008, he got roughly about a 9% return when the rest of the stock market was down 37%, 38% roughly in that year. And he was asked, he's like, well, how do you do it? Like, how would you, or like, Ray, like, how did you earn a return in that? And he said, by having 8 to 12 uncorrelated assets that can greatly diversify your portfolio and hopefully help you get up to about an 80% reduced risk by doing that. So you might say, all right, well, what are uncorrelated assets? Well, you think like large cap stock, medium cap stock, international stock, bond, like they have a decent correlation with those. Like those are not uncorrelated assets. So that got me to think like, well, what all sectors are there? So looking at the various sectors, and I wrote a few of these down. So you have large cap, mid cap, small cap, international bonds, money market, CDs, annuities, and then there's alternatives. So in the alternatives, there are so many different investment opportunities in alternative. You could have land, you could have high-rise apartment complex, you could have oil and gas. There's MYGAs, multi-year guaranteed annuities. There's ETFs. There's sports teams that you could invest in. So there's so many different asset types out there, and so on and so on. I could keep going. There's a whole bunch more that I didn't even mention out there. But if you look at your overall portfolio, are you just in like the S&P, or are you diversified a little bit more? And by diversifying a little bit more, that might give yourself the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to take additional risk over here. But by taking that additional risk, it might actually lower your overall portfolio risk. So one of the ones I didn't mention that I want to bring up next, that I want to see if you know anything about it. I knew a little bit about it, and this is what I do for a living, but I haven't really dove into it because it's kind of I don't want to say more of a fad here recently, but do you know much about nuclear and investing in nuclear?
Nuclear,
Yeah.
like stock, or what is it?
Yeah, nuclear's
Stock.
stocks that are, using like these nuclear modular reactors to, in essence, create more energy. Have you ever heard of that?
I mean, would things like Tesla and all that fall into that category, or no? Is it
I wouldn't think so.
vehicles?
No. I mean, because they're just powering a vehicle. This is really to create, energy. So the definition here is a nuclear reactor controls nuclear fission to generate heat, which boils water into steam, spins a turbine connected to a generator, and produces large amounts of carbon-free electricity, much like a fossil fuel plant without burning fuel. It works by splitting uranium atoms fission in a controlled chain reaction using water as a coolant and moderator, and employing control rods to manage the reactor speed. Reaction speed. Whew, that was a mouthful. So that is a lot, but really you might say, all right, well, what's the main thing? What's the primary use? Well, electricity. So primary use is providing a significant carbon-free power source. So right now, the United States doesn't have a lot of these really nuclear plants or what's called small modular reactors. So it's in the Holy Grail of Investing book there, but they are about the size of a small commercial airplane. So these SMRs, these small modular reactors, are about the size of a small commercial airplane. And this allows to be quickly built and assembled in a factory and delivered by a truck and could be placed in, and here's what I thought was really cool, could be placed in areas with limited access to water. So I know that we gave for our Christmas party, like we every year we have a clients in Christmas party, and we say, all right, well, we're getting the Clean Water Project.
Yep.
And it's something on our hearts to do that. We know that's one of the reasons that people die is because they don't have clean water. So hearing that you can say, hey, I can take one of these small modular reactors, put it in an area that doesn't have access to water, and it gives them the ability to have, energy. That is a fantastic thing. And as we look at it, the United States, if you had to say, all right, well, the top 10 in regards to countries and their focus on nuclear, where do you think the U.S. would fall? You think we're number 1, 2, 5,
Well,
10?
you just said we didn't have very many plants, so I would think we are not number one.
Yeah, we're not number 1. So we only have 2.
Oh,
At least as of what I was reading, there's only 2.
where are they at?
Georgia.
Georgia. That's random.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're tied with 4 other countries for number 5.
Okay.
Who do you think's number 1?
That's Canada? London?
Nope. China's, excuse
of
me,
course.
India's number 2 at
India.
8. They have 8 compared to our 2.
So who's number one if India is number
China at
China.
21.
Okay. Yeah. that makes
21. They got a
sense.
huge
They're always
focus
more
on it.
advanced.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Yeah, so much more advanced as you think about it. So I'm going to read some additional.
So would you say as a financial advisor, then that might be a good investment, knowing that we only have 2, eventually we might want more and get in early while you can?
So that is a great question, and I was going to talk on that here in a second, but let's go into it now. So I looked up some of the stocks that you could invest in. I'll just mention a couple. So people say, hey, I can look that up and I can see. So there's one, I'll just give you the ticker symbols. So if you look it up, just go to like Yahoo Finance or something of that nature, and you could, in the search bar, type in these ticker symbols. You can look them up. OKLO, SMR, CCJ, CEG, GEV, and VST. So those are some of the ones that are investing in some of this nuclear. So I looked, I'm like, all right, well, over the last year, how do we think these returns are? So there is a wide array of how they've done. So just like any particular stock, you don't want to focus just on one. You want to be diversified because you can get a vastly different result with one stock compared to another stock, even though you're in the same sector. So one of them is, for this last year, was down 30%. The next one was down 61%. The next one was up 80.87%.
Good one.
Next one up 61.13.
Ooh, are those the ones in China? No.
Next one up 101.7%. And the last one up 17.26%. So a vast array of returns in regards to that. So don't just find like, oh, I think this is the one, put your money in there. Now, granted, you might get lucky, but also you might lose your shorts on it. So even within one sector that might be a great sector to get into, you want to have that word called diversification as you look at that there. So there's a lot of really good pros on that. So key roles in the power grid. So base load power, nuclear plants provide a constant, dependable system of electricity, unlike intermittent sources, filling gaps when sun or wind is not available. And then the other thing is the high capacity factor. So right now, a lot of these factories out there that do nuclear, they're operating at about 93% capacity. But the problem is right now, and it's expected by 2050 that we're going to need, experts are saying, about another 50% more energy than what we have. So if we're already at 93% capacity, that's an issue. So we need to have, in my opinion, more and more nuclear developed, which in theory should help out these particular stocks. So might be a sector worth looking into for that additional word called diversification. Next time, we're going to hit on a few more sectors and a few more different stocks that we'll talk about. But nuclear is a sector that a lot of people don't think about. One of the other things is some people think, all right, well, what about like wind? What about like solar?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're comparing that, like here in the United States, like we have some areas, especially being in the Midwest, like you'd think wind would be great because we have farms and whatnot, and that can be fantastic. But you have to have a lot of wind to really power that up. Or solar, you got to have a lot of heat bearing down. But if it's overcast, that might not be so great. And a lot of these other countries, it's not really suitable to have wind or solar. But nuclear might be the next wave, or at least something to look into. So did you know any of that about the nuclear headed into today?
That was a first, but I'm glad you talked about it because I'm going to be getting into that sector. So if people have questions about finances, where can they ask those questions?
Go to our website, financially4everafter.com. Ask a question, leave a comment. There's a question section in there, and you say, hey, you know what? What about this as an investment sector? What about this particular stock? I'm not opposed to talking about particular stocks or questions you have on here.
Yeah. You can also hit us up on social media. You can direct message us or just like and comment. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube channel so that you never miss a future episode. But thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Financially Forever After, a Love and Money podcast. Securities offered through Great Point Capital, LLC, member SIPC. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Acadia Life Insurance. Schunkweiler Financial is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, acronym AEWM, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Acadia Life Insurance are not subject to investment advisor requirements. AEWM and Acadia Life Insurance are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Schunkweiler Financial is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice.
Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein, provided by third parties, have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Schunkweiler Financial.